Welcome to PetesGuide. This is Metric Monday. This week, the fastener that I'm going to experiment with and determine the drill size is are these nifty little rubber well nuts. Again, I'm only doing M6 right now, so 6mm diameter machine screws with a 1.0mm thread pitch. And the goal of this is to build the ideal metric toolkit that is minimal and easy to use. So I am using, I did this off camera. I started with this template for testing drill hole sizes, and I think it's good for a couple more uses, but I'm going to have to build another one because, as you remember last week, it cracked. So I can no longer fully trust the hole sizes, but I determined that there appeared to be 4 sizes that this might fit in. I did that off camera. And in so doing, I also discovered something I was pretty sure, but I didn't know for sure, that this wood is too thick for this well nut. This wood is, well, it's sold in US sizes, but it's about 6mm thick. And let me show you what happens when you try to put a rubber well nut into material that's 6mm thick. It comes all apart and destroys itself. So inside here you just have a little, there's this rubber bushing, and at the bottom of this is this insert, this threaded insert, and this is very much similar, and it might be identical to the threaded inserts that are used to insert into plastic with ultrasonic or heated installation tools. And I'm kind of intrigued to see that this one does not have any diagonal ridges on it, so that may be one reason why this pulled out. Probably would have pulled out anyway, but I will have to experiment with some other brands to see if any of the others are constructed better. So let's put those aside and bring on some hardboard. So this is normally sold as 1/8 inch hardwood. This is tempered hardboard, not hardwood, tempered hardboard. So texture on the back from the mesh. Impregnated with linseed oil, typically, on one side, and formed from wood fibers with lots of compression, squeezing out all the water. So I drilled 4 holes, 10, 10.5, 11, and 11.5mm, and it's kind of dark, so I wasn't going to waste time marking in pencil the hole sizes, but I can remember 4 holes. So let's get these walnuts and see if I can get them to go in. No, that's not going. So 10.5, let's see if that will work. Barely. So there's a ridge, I don't know if you can see that, but there's a ridge midway up that I haven't seen on any other well nuts I've used in the past. And I don't know what the purpose of that is. And it's not on all brands. On the brands it is on, it seems to be only on the larger sizes. No, maybe only the smaller sizes. Okay, so that's 10, 10.5, 11. 10.5 was hard to get in. 11 was nice and easy. And 11.5, that's almost possible to shove that through all the way. Okay, so I wasn't able to get 10mm through. Let's double check that again. Yeah, that's not going to work. Okay, so we only have 2 sizes here. So, hat tip, when you ask Alexa or you command Alexa, do not disturb, she still beeps at you. So the way these work is completely through compression. So you screw the machine screw in. Well, I guess since this is a well nut, that makes this a bolt, not a machine screw. Let's get that threaded straight. Okay. And that's one of the downsides of magnetized tips. Sometimes you're going to get stuff pulling when you want to be pushing. Okay, and that's interesting. That hole is too big, so big that the bushing is spinning. Yeah, and this one is not. So 10, 10 and a half. Let's do these all the way just to make sure that I have the right size. And whoops, let's get that in camera. So this just gradually compresses, and what's nice about this is it provides some electrical and mechanical insulation and stabilization, a little bit of the regular purpose for bushing, so you don't have to worry about dissimilar metal connections between the fastener and the material you're installing this in. So once I held the bushing, once I held the walnut, I was able to get the one inserted into the maybe not. Maybe that's not going to work. That's just spinning. That's no longer compressing. So yeah, these are not my favorite connectors, but I've used them in a few projects before, and they do definitely have particular uses. So 10, 10 and a half. Looks like we have the right hole size, at least for tempered hardboard. 10 and a half millimeters for M6 walnuts. And look at that. I've already got 10 and a half millimeters in my drill bit minimizing kit for Molly bolts, last week's fastener. And that's all that I can tell you about these fasteners this week. This is PetesGuide closing down.